Good morning, students. In the last session of the chemistry lesson air, we saw about the occurrence of oxygen, properties and uses of oxygen, and the occurrence of nitrogen, physical and chemical properties of nitrogen. Now today we will move on to the next concept, uses of nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen is used as a refrigerant. That is, it is used in the refrigerators as a liquid fluid. It is known as a refrigerant. So, liquid nitrogen is used as a refrigerant. It provides an inert atmosphere for conducting certain chemical reactions. It is used to prepare ammonia by means of Haber's process, which is then converted into fertilizers and nitric acid. Nowadays, it is used as a substitute for compressed air in the tires. In many vehicles, they are using the nitrogen as a substitute for compressing air in the tires. It is used for filling the space above the mercury in high temperature thermometer to reduce the evaporation of mercury. So, this in the high temperature thermometers, it is used, this nitrogen is used to fill the space because it will avoid the evaporation of mercury. Many explosives such as TNT, trinitrotoluene, nitroglycerin and gunpowder contain nitrogen. It is used for the preservation of foods, manufacturing of stainless steel, reducing fire hazards and as part of the gas in incandescent light bulbs also. Next we will move for nitrogen fixation. This you had studied in your lower class itself. Nitrogen gets circulated in the air, soil and living things as the element itself or in the form of its compounds. So it gets circulated in the air, soil and all the living things as the element itself, otherwise in the mixture of its compounds. Just as there is a circulation of carbon in nature, so also there is a circulation of nitrogen. It is essential for the proper growth of all the plants. The plants cannot make use of the elemental nitrogen from the air as such. So, it directly cannot take the element nitrogen. So, these plants require soluble compounds of nitrogen. Thus, plants depend on other processes to supply them with nitrates. Any process that converts nitrogen in the air into a useful nitrogen compound is called nitrogen fixation. So, it cannot directly use the element nitrogen. It will mix with any other compounds and it will convert it, and this can be used by the plants. So, any process that converts nitrogen in the air into a useful nitrogen compound is called nitrogen fixation. Fixation of nitrogen is also carried out both naturally and by man. Next we will move for carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a chemical compound in which one carbon and two oxygen atoms are bonded together. So, its formula is CO2. So, one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms are bonded together. It is a gas at room temperature. It is represented by the formula CO2. It is found in the Earth's atmosphere and it sends back the solar energy which is reflected by the surface of the earth, so to make it possible for the living organisms to survive. When carbon dioxide accumulates more in the atmosphere, it produces harmful effects. Occurrence of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is present in air to the extent of about 0.03% by volume. It is evolved by the plants and animals during respiration, and it is produced during fermentation reactions. Much of the naturally occurring carbon dioxide is emitted from the magma through volcanoes. CO2 may also originate from the biodegradation of oil and gases. Carbon dioxide emitted by human upset the natural balance of the carbon cycle. Man-made carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has increased global temperatures, which is warming the planet. While carbon dioxide derived from the fossil fuel is a very small component of the global carbon cycle, the extra carbon dioxide is cumulative because the natural carbon exchange cannot absorb all the additional CO2. So, this is the occurrence of carbon dioxide. It is obtained from many of these processes. Next, physical properties of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a colorless and odorless gas. It is heavier than air. It does not support combustion. It is fairly soluble in water and turns blue litmus slightly red. So, it is acidic in nature. It can easily be liquefied under high pressure and also can be solidified. This solid form of CO2 is called dry ice, which undergoes sublimation. One definition is given there. The process of conversion of solid into vapor without reaching the liquid state is called sublimation. For this sublimation, example is camphor, Karpuram. When you burn that camphor, it will directly attain the vapor state. So, it does not go into the liquid state. The process of conversion of solid into vapor without reaching the liquid state is called sublimation. Next, chemical properties of carbon dioxide. First one, combustibility. It is a non-combustible gas and not a supporter of combustion. So, it does not help the combustion process. Combustion means heating. Reaction with metals. Lighter metals like sodium, potassium and calcium combine with CO2, carbon dioxide, to form the corresponding carbonates, whereas magnesium gives its oxide and carbon. So, Na is the formula for sodium. 4Na plus 3CO2 gives Na2CO3, sodium carbonate plus carbon. Magnesium is the formula and Mg is the formula for magnesium. Plus CO2, 2Mg plus CO2, we will get 2MgO plus C. MgO is the formula for magnesium oxide. Reaction with sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is also known as alkali. Sodium hydroxide is a base, is neutralized by carbon dioxide, which is acidic, to form sodium bicarbonate salt and water. NaOH is the formula for sodium hydroxide plus CO2. Carbon dioxide gives NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate plus H2O. So, this reaction is done with the base and acid and forms salt and water. Fourth one, reaction with lime water. It is nothing but calcium hydroxide. When a limited amount of CO2 is passed through lime water, it turns milky due to the formation of insoluble calcium carbonate. CaOH twice plus CO2. Calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide gives CaCO3, calcium carbonate plus H2O water. When an excess amount of CO2 is passed through lime water, it turns milky and the milkiness disappears due to the formation of soluble calcium hydrogen carbonate, CaHCO3 twice. One information is given there. It's more important for one word. Venus atmosphere consists of roughly 96 to 97% carbon dioxide. Because of the amount of carbon dioxide present here, the surface of Venus continually retains heat, and as such, the surface temperature of Venus is roughly 462 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest planet in our solar system. Next, we will move for uses of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is used to prepare soft drinks or aerated drinks. It is used in the fire extinguishers. It is used in the manufacturing of sodium carbonate by Solvay process. Solid carbon dioxide, called as dry ice, is used as a refrigerant. The gas is so cold that moisture in the air condenses on it, creating a dense fog, which is used in stage shows and movie effects. It is used along with ammonia in the manufacture of fertilizers like urea. CO2 can be used in the preservation of food grains, fruits. Aerated water. One information, aerated water is nothing but carbon dioxide dissolved in water under pressure, and this is also called as soda water. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. In the last session of the chemistry air lesson, we saw about the uses of nitrogen and nitrogen fixation. Next, we saw about the occurrence of carbon dioxide, physical and chemical properties of carbon dioxide and uses of carbon dioxide. Now we will move for greenhouse effect and global warming. The solar radiation is absorbed by the surface of land and ocean. In turn, they release infrared radiation or heat into the atmosphere. Certain gaseous molecules present in the atmosphere absorb the infrared rays and re-radiate the heat in all the directions. So, the gaseous molecules present in the atmosphere absorb the infrared rays and they will re-radiate the heat in all the directions. Hence, these gases maintain the temperature of the Earth's surface. The gases which absorb these radiations, that is infrared radiations, are called greenhouse gases, and this effect is called greenhouse effect. The greenhouse gases are CO2, carbon dioxide, N2O, nitrous oxide, CH4, methane, CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. It is one of the important one more word question. CO2, N2O, CH4, CFC are greenhouse gases. The increase in the levels of these gases results in the gradual increase of temperature of the Earth's surface. This greenhouse effect is caused due to the increase in the air pollutants, and it results in the average increase of temperature of the atmosphere. This is called as global warming. So, generally, global warming can be defined as an average increase in the temperature of the atmosphere. Next, we will move for the effects of global warming. A few effects of global warming are melting of ice cap and glaciers, increase in the frequency of floods, soil erosion and unseasonal rains, loss of biodiversity due to the extinction of coral reefs and other key species, spreading of waterborne and insect-borne diseases. So, these are a few effects of global warming. So, how to prevent the global warming? In order to save the earth and its resources, we need to take certain measures. So, what are the preventive measures can be followed? Reducing in the use of fossil fuels. So, the vehicles can be used some of the fuels and such as hydrogen, and we can avoid the usage of petrol and all. So reducing in the use of fossil fuels, controlling deforestation, restricting the use of CFCs, planting more trees, reducing, reusing and recycling resources, using the renewable energy resources. Next we will move for acid rain. Rainwater is actually the purest form of water. However, pollutants such as oxides of nitrogen, that is nitrous oxide, and nitrogen dioxide, N2O is nitrous oxide, NO2 is nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur, SO2, sulfur dioxide, SO3, sulfur trioxide in the air released by factories burning fossil fuels, eruption of volcanoes, dissolve in the rainwater and form the nitric acid and sulfuric acid, which adds up to the acidity of rainwater. Hence, it results in the acid rain. So, this diagram represents the acid rain. This NO2 and SO2 are the acids which are formed and sent to by the factories and the eruption of volcanoes, burning of fossil fuels, etc. And this HNO3 represents nitric acid and H2SO4 represents the sulfuric acid. So from the clouds, these acids are mixed in the rainwater and it will be the formation for the acid rain. One information is given there. Acid rain has pH less than 5.6, whereas pH of pure rainwater is around 5.6 due to the dissolution of atmospheric carbon dioxide in it. Next, we will move for the effects of acid rain. Acid rain affects us in many ways. It irritates eyes and skin of the human beings. It inhibits germination and growth of the seedlings. It changes the fertility of the soil, destroys the plants and aquatic life. Also, it causes corrosion of many buildings, bridges. How to prevent the acid rain? Acid rain and its effects can be controlled by minimizing the usage of fossil fuel such as petrol, diesel, using CNG, that is compressed natural gas, using non-conventional sources of energy, proper disposal of the industrial waste. So, by using this method, we can prevent the acid rain. With this, the lesson air is over, students. Thank you.